Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is week 2 of the test of combining it all together. Last week's view count was abysmally low, but sometimes that occurs, so we're not going to count that. We're going to go 1 month in this format where all the news sections, one long 40-ish minute video with timestamps, and just let me know the feedback in that. If we really do need to break it back into 2, I'll do that. Again, I didn't want to do that because I want to have more Linux content, less news content on the site. So that's my rationale, but who knows with the new plans we have in effect, maybe, just maybe, it's not going to matter. So we'll see. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on in. Microsoft is now working on a super app for all of your needs. Microsoft, the SpyBot operating system that throws ads inside of its start menu and spies on absolutely everything you do, and you cannot turn off such telemetry. Now wants to have a WeChat-like super app. They're like, it's no fair that China gets to have all of the data. We want some of that data too. So of course it's based kind of on WeChat, so it's going to allow you to do basic chatting, video conferences, online shopping, and something else, internet searches. So Microsoft executives have apparently been looking for a solution to increase the company's advertising business and Bing search. It's a trap. It's a trap. In launching an all-in-one platform, the company will also be able to entice customers to its other revenue-generating products, such as Microsoft 365, formerly Office 365. No, thank you. I will stick with my LibreOffice. Thank you. The Microsoft Super App, besides the niche 1400 US-only Android-based Surface Duo, Microsoft has been notably absent from the smartphone market for quite some time. Well, that's because you made a crappy product. And frankly, I loved the Windows Phone. I thought it was an awesome phone. It was just too full of bugs. I thought as far as the UI is concerned, the Windows Phone was overall the best UI to phone ever. It was awesome. I love the Windows Phone. And then, but it just kept on crashing. It kept on not working, didn't work, didn't have an app store. Basically, it sucked. But now they're working on a super app for your Android and your iPhone, so that Microsoft can now spy on the rest of your data too. Let's just do everything all through one amazing app. Sounds great. No thanks. I'll go ahead and give it a pass. Well, now, speaking of people who want all of your data, Amazon comes down and says, I'll double down on that. Amazon has an ad verification program that buys access to your phone's soul, and your soul, by the way, for $2 a month. So, I mean, in our current economy, I mean, depending on where you're at, I mean, hey, if you're down in like Texas, New Mexico, I mean, that's half a tank of gas. You're in California, you're like a quarter tank of gas for the month, guys. Amazon's going to pay you if you literally let them spy on everything you do on your device. Amazon's gotten flack for how it handles user data and partner data, but that hasn't stopped it from launching a program that openly pays you to stock opt-in participants' smartphone traffic. The ad verification scheme is similar to the demise programs for other giants like Google and gives Amazon access to members' phone data to learn about how they interact. What the article was missing is, remember, Facebook did this very same thing. This is before its meta days. Facebook did the exact same thing. They had this thing, hey, install our app and we'll give you, I think it was giving like a couple dollars in Amazon gift cards. I mean, hey, that was more money in a better economy. I mean, it was so much better deal. Like Facebook was paying twice what Amazon's paying at least. And it just, allowed you to install an app that spied on absolutely everything you do on your device. But hey, you got like a free song out of it a month or something. It's like, this is the of our current economy. Like, we're like sheep to the slaughter, guys. And as long as we think these things are amazing deals, we are going to have some serious problems. So earn rewards for opting into the ad verification. Earn $2 monthly reward. You may as well spit in my face, thank you. $2. I can't even go into Dunkin' Donuts and buy a donut anymore for $2. I mean, really? I think you can't. I think they're like $1.99. I've seen donuts as low as $1.99 in some places more recently. I haven't been to a donut shop in like 6 months. I don't know what it is in the current economy. What's a donut cost these days? Is this like Amazon giving you a free donut once a month to spy on everything you do? By choosing to enable ad verification, Panelists allow us to confirm which ads from Amazon they saw on their device. This includes Amazon's own advertising or ads from third-party businesses that advertise through Amazon ads. Once you have enabled ad verification on your device, no additional effort is required, and you can disable it at any time. Amazon's Shopper Panel app will collect and use information about where and when you see ads from Amazon. For example, the app or website where you viewed the ad and the time of day you viewed it. This helps us make ads from Amazon more relevant. We always handle your information in accordance with Amazon's privacy notice. Basically, we don't have any. So you can go to the Amazon Shopper Panel app and the Play Store app's permission to collect and use information. Your participation will help brands offer better products. So I do like that Ars Technica did actually cover the downsides here. Little money, $2. I got more than $2 for my weekly allowance as a kid, and we were from a poor family. I mean, really, here's your $2. Back then, I could buy 4 candy bars. I could buy 1 now, you know. Amazon's ad verification company being somewhat open to prying into members' phones and even offering compensation. If $2 doesn't sound like a lot of money, it sounds like a real chump considering the general privacy issues. That's right. They can withdraw consent and delete your personal information, including ad verification, anytime. Amazon claims it won't share personal information acquired through Shop Panel with anyone else. Of course, this is the same company that told us your Ring data is private. We know they were giving it to the police. We know they were sending it over to Ukraine, of all places. We know that other company employees had access to it and were doing uncouth things with it. See, this is why it's better to not collect the data at all. And so, they mentioned the other things. Oh, they actually did mention the Facebook app down here at the bottom. They launched a program, gave 13 to 25-year-olds gift cards in exchange for downloading an ever-watchful VPN. Google tried it with Google Screenwise. This is probably going to fail, but would you sign up? I mean, $2, just give Amazon access to everything on your phone. Although it'd be really fun to, use it and just put it on a separate phone, turn it on, and just throw the phone in the corner. I go get myself like 30 burner phones and just do that. Put them all on my internet. Ooh, let's see if we can game this thing. Can we game this, guys? I don't know. All right. Apple abandons controversial plan to check devices for CSAM. So allegedly now, of course, they were announced they're going to do it. Everyone had a hissy fit about it, for good real reason. I mean, honestly, that was a bad idea. And then there's, we'll pull it back for now. And everyone thought they're just going to roll it in quietly. Right now they're saying they're just completely abandoning the plan. Now they are, I have one more Apple story. Oh, sorry. I don't know if the Apple story is coming up. They did actually introduce full end-to-end encryption, which allegedly is messing up, irritating the law enforcement right now, allowing full end-to-end on everything, which is something that was indeed limiting with Apple in the past. So we'll see what happens. Louis Rossmann had a whole video about that saying, I'll have to praise Apple here. How much you want to bet? Because every single time he's praised Apple in the last 3 or 4 years, he's had to come back and eat crow in the end. It'll be kind of funny to see how the crow is eaten. Yeah, we have end-to-end encryption. We just didn't tell anyone that other end-to-end encryption is the FBI's. Let's wait for that information to come out. Because we know for a fact Apple is not about privacy. This is like a total 180 to everything else they're doing. And we gotta look for the holes in that armor. It's gotta be there. We gotta find it. But they are saying they are abandoning this plan altogether. They're abandoning the plan to launch the CSAM scanner, which of course required your phone or pad to be connected to iCloud. If those two were connected, it would search for CSAM material on your phone. It would grab the hashtag, and then it would title you out to the police. Of course, people showed false positives were able to be done in the system, and so that raised a lot of serious concerns. They first announced the feature in 2021 with the goal of helping combat bad children's stuff and promoting safety issues the tech community has increased and embraced, but soon put on the brakes. How much you want to bet the government comes in and says, no, this would catch too many of us with bad stuff on our phones. You can't do this. We do know right now, is it between a quarter and a third of the children that are illegally crossing the border have simply disappeared? We don't know where they are. If Apple turned this on, we'd find it. I don't know where it'd be, though. All right. In public statement on Wednesday, Apple said it decided not to move forward with the CSAM detection. The children can be protected without companies coming through personal data and things. And this is, there's been other things. I think Google has been part of it. One of the plans that there's been doing is people, if you go into hotel rooms, there is actually a program, and I think it's through Google, although it could be somewhere else, where you can take photos of the hotel rooms, upload those photos into the cloud, and what they'll do is when new exploitation images coming online, they use that data from people taking pictures of the hotel rooms to cross-link when and where those photos were taken. That is a much better way to handle this. Although it is a after the crime had occurred event, but same thing as if the images are on your device. But that plan is really good because it allows people to make a catalog of all the different hotel rooms and how they change over time and compare this to exploitation images, which gives law enforcement a time period when the exploitation could have occurred in a hotel room. So that's actually a much better plan. I'm kind of behind that one. But there, Apple's right here. There are many other ways that you can do things. And, here's the best thing to do. Keep your children off of the internet and off of phones. Like, internet is dangerous. Supervise them. You wouldn't send your children to Times Central Square alone. I said that wrong, didn't I? Times Square alone. You wouldn't send them to Central Station alone. Don't give them a phone when they're alone, or any other device that can connect to the internet. And this one here is exciting. Apple's Airtag stalker safeguards are woefully inadequate, alleges a lawsuit. This is a proposed class action lawsuit. Two women found that their ex-partners were just brutally stalking them with AirTags and doing all sorts of crazy things. I have been talking about this AirTag issue for a long time now. And really the negative consequences of AirTags far outweighs the benefits, but unfortunately now that they have entered the conscience, there's really nothing you can do. You're like, well, I mean, we have ways you can download the app. Yeah, we're not all A, using your phone, B, wanting to install some other third-party app, or C, enabling Bluetooth on our devices. And frankly, you should not be enabling Bluetooth on your devices unless you are actively, for the short period of time, using it, and then as soon as you're done, you turn that back off. All right, but the AirTags basically are way more used for stalking than anything benign. I bet if you were to have a look at all of the AirTag and similar product sales, you would find that the vast majority of them are being used for nefarious purposes. Basically, maybe we should make these things banned or I don't know. We need to find something to do with these stupid things now that they've been unleashed on our world to make sure that people can't access them. How about this? All right, here's the thing we'll do. You're caught one time using one of these for stalking. How about a 30-year prison sentence? Sounds good to me. Maybe that's a little too extreme, but you kind of get the point, We don't need to be utilizing these types of things. But these two people are putting together a class action lawsuit, and primarily it looks like this is mostly geared towards women who have been stalked by their exes. And on to our final story of the day. Law enforcement agencies can extract data from thousands of cars' infotainment systems. And if you happen to have your phone connected to your car's infotainment system, they can do basically it produces a complete backdoor to everything on your phone. If you have your phone connected to your infotainment system and they have a way in, and they have a way in on most of these cars, they can gain access to your location data, your call history. I don't think they can gain access to your texts, but they can gain access to your contacts, call histories, metadata. They can gain access to your active location and a few other functions as well. This one is closely related to another exploit that was also in the news this week, the SiriusXM, but this goes way beyond SiriusXM. Turns out that there are several vulnerabilities of cars. So this one's Hyundai Genesis cars modeled after 2012 were open to remote hacks. An attacker could exploit the flaws to unlock and start the vehicles. in many cases, all you needed to know in order to hack a specific car from the internet at large is the VIN number, which is something readily available to law enforcement because that is something that is basically registered and tied to you. So if you have a car in your name, the VIN number can identify who you are. And then they can be like, hey, we got the VIN number. Let's just hack the car. And if you happen to have your phone connected to your infotainment center, they have it. But it's so convenient. You shouldn't be driving with your phone anyway. So, throw that thing in a Faraday cage and throw it in the back seat. All right? Really? Come on. All right. So with that, though, there were a lot of different cars. Here's a recent search of a 2019 Dodge Charger used to facilitate transportation and movement of non-citizens without legal status into the United States, into and throughout the United States near the Mexican border. Police were able to access the infotainment system of the vehicle to obtain a broad range of information, including the suspect's location, user passwords, email addresses, IP addresses, and phone numbers. That's exciting. They also reported another case with the ATF in Missouri in October. The law enforcement used the car hacking technology to gather information from a 2022 Ford F-150. The ATF investigator pointed out that connected systems in modern vehicles can be targeted to recover vast amounts of data and also spy on a phone connected to the car without accessing the phone itself. ATF confirmed digital technologies can be used to target over 10,000 different vehicle models, including BMW, Buick, Cadillac, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Fiat, Ford, GMC, Hummer, Jeep, Lincoln, Maserati, Mercedes, Mercury, Pontiac, Ram, Saturn, Toyota, and Volkswagen. Yeah. So if you happen to have an infotainment system, your local reminder, go ahead and disconnect your phone and turn everything off. Delete it all. Delete it all. Well, you still can. Well, today on our affiliate section, I actually wanted to highlight, I have several books out. Now, these are all Christian in nature, and so I realize a large portion of my audience is not Christian, but I also get a lot of emails from time to time going, wow, you're like a Christian too? That's really cool. And so for your benefit, I don't have a screen for this, but it's ourwalkinchrist.com. And I will have a link to that in the description of this video down there in the links. So you can go ahead and have a look over there. But I do have, I just released my 8th book, just rolled out last week. That is Joash's Influences. That is starting to roll out. You can pick up these books anywhere online you can buy books. And we have print, ebook, and audiobook editions of all of them. Just go to your circuit favorite place, type in my last name, Murosky. You should find any of my books available for there. Joash's Influences is still slowly rolling out, so it's not everywhere yet, but you can get it most places by now. But I do have a series of books, and if you want to know what are my favorites, I Am Not Amused is about media entertainment. That is a fabulous book. This yellow one here is a parody book. Oh, I think that one you can only get either from my website or from Amazon, although you can't get the ebook anymore. It was too spicy. They kicked it off. Sorry. Everything else is good. This one's great for holidays. The Happy Holidays is great for those. And the Half My Life is actually my testimony. So for those, this is probably the only time we'll mention the Christian stuff on the channel for at least another couple months. Other than I oftentimes, on Thursday night, very end of the show, I will link the 9 o'clock movie. But absolutely, you can have a look over there at Our Walk in Christ, just like up here in the upper left corner, ourwalkinchrist.com. And then I have all the information for that. With that, guys, let's go on over to security news. All right. So first up, we have a new dangerous Amazon shopping scam. The text is a lie. The text is a lie. Basically, this person got a text message, and it says, your card has been charged with $649 for Jimmy Elfin mini projector. Order ID EMPY2219 on 5-2022. Not N0T. Ordered by you. Contact us, and here's a helpful phone number. Of course, what else would this person do but call them back? Sounds fun, right? And so called back and played along and realized I probably had the phone, the name. So they said, all right, here's my name. I'll go ahead and play along that far, right? It says, have you been to Ohio? No. Have you shared your account with someone in Ohio? No. Well, someone in Ohio had this. Here's actually a picture of it, of the text there. You can see the O's are zeros. What, do you not have an O on your keyboard? What is this? The misery book? Just manually write it in, you know? As he talked to me, I logged in the Amazon account on my desktop. No weird orders, just stuff I've ordered for my wife's Christmas presents. I'm sorry, I said, trying to sound confused, but if someone's ordering on my account, shouldn't I see those orders? Oh, no. There was a long pause, like a nudge from officers. Yes, they're on hold, he told me. Now it was time to get down to business. The scammer told me that it was important for them to connect me to Amazon's secure server to resolve the matter. So go to the app store, download the app, which is actually, it's just a download the app. He spells it out. A as in all, N as in Nancy, Y as in yes. Basically AnyDesk, which allows you to connect to, remote desktop into somebody's device. And so, realizing that, that's what he's trying to do, he's like, oh, just connect to it, download the app. I told him I want to make sure that I told him I wanted to make sure he had this. Fine, give it to me. He said, all right. He says, N as in no, O as in over, F as in fun, U as in under, C as in cable, K as in king, I as in inside, N as in Nancy, G as in go, W as in walk, A as in all, and Y as in yes. Oh, boy. At first, there's no reaction. He spelled it back, misheard a few letters, didn't make sense. He said, why do you say to me this? He asked. I said, because you're a scammer. Ha, ha, ha. Beautiful troll. Beautiful troll. We all need to start doing this if these scammers come texting us. So, clearly they have our phone numbers. Clearly they know our names. They're just trying to get some more phishing in. We got to get the rest of the stuff in. So there you go. That'd be fun thing to do. Anyway, it'd be really cool if the FBI set up AnyDesk servers and made these available to us, so those of us that know about them could be like, we just ping the FBI agent, and then the FBI agent pings us back the code, and we give them a code, and they log into the FBI's computers. That would be epic. Come on, FBI, where are you? Maybe this is something to propose to the scam hunter channels instead. I don't know. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Anyway, discovered a new BYOF technique to crypto mine with Proot. This is a Linux specific target hack. It takes advantage of Proot, which is a combination of chroot, mount, and bntmf, whatever this guy is. I don't know. It's a program I have not used on Linux before. Basically, it's going to be some commands that's going to allow you to do some more advanced things with file systems. So what these guys are doing, now they already require you to have access to the server or the website or the computer or whatever else they have. They already have to have access. But once they have access, what this allows them to do is they have created a file system that runs in a Linux container that can leave the Linux container. They've already compiled it and they stored it on a Dropbox. And then once they gain access to your system through some other type of breach, they just ping the Dropbox, download the folder, and extract it, and basically extract a fully functional, malicious bloatware suite on top of your system. And then it allows you to work. So it's quite brilliant, basically. It's basically turning your whole computer into a malicious VM in one fell swoop. It's brilliant, I gotta say. But you gotta watch out for it. And I think there was something in here to see if it was happening. Oh, I can't remember. Once downloaded, the malicious file system was unpacked in temp proot. Although this varies between attacks, the threat would then run proot executable pointing at the directory. In the example below, a bash shell script is executed. If we look closer at what happens, the true path of the bash executable would be temp proot bin bash, shows now running for the attacker's file system from the original host. All right, so then they're going to, whatever their payload is, whether they're mining cryptocurrency, collecting all of your stuff, or turning your computer into a nasty online image server or something, they already have it. And so there you go. All right, Sequoia. This is a huge. I think an HR resource company. You've heard about the big HR resource companies. This is one of them that big businesses are now, instead of hiring an HR department, they're just outsourcing the HR. Their way to save a few bucks, of course. Now that means that you have now created something that everybody wants to hack into, because these PR people and PR firms have access to more information than they need on hundreds and hundreds and thousands and possibly millions of people. Well, Sequoia has had a data breach through, of course, a phishing attack. A high-level administrator or something at the company, or an employee of the company, was susceptible to a phish, and the people were able to get in there and gain access to a whole lot of information. And the number of companies that work with these guys, they're huge. Airbnb, DoorDash, Robinhood, FireEye, Carbon Black, just to name a few. Every employee involved in there. And I don't know if Airbnb and DoorDash, I don't know if they're using this for the gig employees as well as the company employees. I don't know. But regardless, if you're affiliated with any of those groups, or if you have, you work at a business where Sequoia is your outsourced HR department, it is very possible that you are caught up in a data breach that has collected uncountable amounts of information about you. So that's exciting. All right, and finally, Samsung's Android app signing key has leaked, and it is being used to sign malware. So this is the signing key for your Samsung devices that can sign anything, including actual downloads and any of the pre-installed software and anything else that looks like OEM software. So the keys were leaked, and now your phone can download and install all sorts of malware, and it all looks official because the signing keys spot on match. It's like Randall Stevenson right here. Samsung, actually, our key was compromised years ago. Oh, that sounds good. I'm glad I'm not using your phone. Samsung isn't just the biggest Android OEM to have a signing key leak, also the biggest user of the leaked key. The earlier APK mirror link shows just how bad it is. Samsung's compromised key is used for everything. Samsung Pay. Oh, that's exciting. Bixby, Samsung account. Oh boy. The phone app, and a million other things you can find on 101 pages of results for that key. It would be possible to craft a malicious update for any one of these apps, and Android would be happy to install it on top of the real app. And some of the updates are from today, indicating they still have not changed their key. All you guys on Samsung phones going, oh, I'm just using Samsung because they got the greatest security. No, they probably have the worst. You might actually be better off with a $30 Walmart smartphone than a Samsung phone at this point in time. Just saying. All right. Well, with that, guys, we do have some support sites. Today we are highlighting Patreon for the first clip here. Patreon.com/TOMM. You can join us over there on Patreon, help support the channel, and I do have some questions for you guys over there relating to some online content. If you've not jumped on over there lately, do I still have that poll up? I don't think I should have done the other one as a poll. I just put it like, hey, leave me in the comments. I should change that to a poll. But I am soliciting your comments on a few things. So we'll see those. With that, guys, we are going to head on over to business next. First up in the business news, yet another saga in the San Francisco killer robots. First it was, we're going to have lethal weapon robots. And people are like, whoa, what's going on? Like, we're not giving them guns, just bombs. And then people are like, what? And then they're like, okay, well, maybe that was a bad idea. The only person I'm seeing online who seems to think that this is not a problem is Donut Operator, right? Donut Operator, good channel, good former police officer, does police breakdown videos, things like that. He thinks this is just fine and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, Donut, you've lost your mind. You need to check up from the neck up, my friend. Because frankly, no, when you start talking about putting bombs on robots. Now, and I understand his point. His point is this was actually done in Dallas, Texas a few years ago, and he's right. It was about, I don't know, eight or so years ago, and nobody caused a big stink about it, but it was a very, very weird case where it wasn't specifically in the law, but they debated it. They got authority from like the mayor and stuff. They said, hey, this guy's in here. He's very dangerous. The best thing we can do is bring a robot right here, blow out the wall. Otherwise, we are going to die. And like, sure, let's bring in a robot and blow up the wall. Great. But it wasn't something specifically on the books. Can you imagine a city as corrupt as San Francisco, which has extingent circumstances? I'm sorry, but extingent circumstances in a corrupt place like San Francisco basically means there's too many bums in front of our new $1 million bathroom that's taken us 3 years to build. Would you go blow them up with a nuke? And I can kind of see that happening in San Francisco, although it'd probably be an improvement on the landscape. Might disinfect the streets a little bit. But they have decided after a giant riot. Now, of course, again, this is San Francisco. So was it a protest or a riot? I don't really know. But people took to the streets. They were protesting this. It was San Francisco. Somebody said, hey, there's a protest down here. What are they protesting? I don't know. Let's go. Why not? It's San Francisco. They protest over everything. They protest when people call you the wrong names. They protest when people say, like, wear a red hat. They protest when people say, good day, sir, or good day, ma'am. They protest over everything. If they're not dying in the streets from an overdose, they're protesting. Of course, this is also the same city that last week a CEO of a computer company, a Silicon Valley startup company over there in San Francisco, his 10-month-old baby was crawling through the grass in a park in San Francisco and OD'd on fentanyl. Okay? That is the city we're talking about. You want to give them any degree of legal authority to have explosive armed robotics for extingent circumstances? I'm sorry, hell is going to break loose in your city. So I'm very glad that they decided to cancel it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's gone. All right. MIT Technology Review. We know how wonderful this place is, but this article is actually fascinating. Uber's facial recognition is locking Indian drivers out of their accounts. Some people are finding their accounts are permanently blocked. So there's a number of people in India who are Uber drivers. And of course, Uber drivers are now across the world required to use their selfie check-in. Facial recognition to make sure you're the person with the phone. Okay, I can understand that almost to agree, but no facial scans. Well, Indian people are slightly darker skins than pasty whiteys, salty crackers. And we know that facial recognition technology just doesn't work super well for people who aren't salty crackers. And because of that, it's locking them out. 600,000 Uber drivers. Many of them, though, work for some other startup ones very similar to that. Uber checks that drivers' faces match the company on file through a program called Real-Time ID Check. Was rolled out in U.S. in 2016, India 2017, then other markets. This prevents fraud and protects drivers' accounts from being compromised. It also protects riders and building another layer of accountability into the app to ensure the right person is behind the wheel. But the problem is that it doesn't seem to work for people who aren't salty crackers. And because of that, a lot of people, because, you know, maybe they've gotten a haircut, maybe they've grown a beard or a mustache, maybe they have slightly more melanin than the rest of the people over there, and they're just getting locked out of their accounts instead. So there we have it. Uber is officially racist, so we can now call for the total banishment and dismemberment of Uber because of that, because they're racist facial ID, whatever else. And so I say down here, it works by converting your face to a set of points, but with excessive facial hair, endpoints change. You may not recognize where the chin is. The thing happens when there is low lighting and the phone camera doesn't have good contrast. This makes it difficult for the computer to detect edges. And basically said if you simply, grew out your beard a little bit more, shaved it down a little bit less, cut your hair, looked like a non-pasty dude, then you'd probably just lock you out of your account. So good luck. I mean, this is them. We just want to make sure that Uber drivers are not, we want to make sure Uber drivers are melatonin challenged people. Put it that way. So there we have it. Waiting for the protests against Uber, but Probably won't happen because these people who want to protest such things would need to take an Uber to the Uber protest. Wouldn't that be the peak of irony? I'm gonna take an Uber to the Uber protest. Lyft will be having discounts. Use Lyft to get to your Uber protest instead. That'd be a great marketing plan. All right. Apple announces sweeping changes to the App Store pricing. Basically, they are lowering the lowest price you can cost for an app or increasing the highest price. So the lowest price for an app is now 29 cents and the highest is $10,000. Who's paying $10,000 for it? What app is on the App Store that's $10,000? Like, please let me know. Like, a $10,000 transaction triggers the IRS to look into what you're doing. What is that app? For the love. Now, it used to be 1,000 is the highest. Even that. What is that app? But 10,000, like, you need to take out a credit line to buy your app. But they do have, of course, prices can include 10 cents, 50 cents, $1, whatever. But it supports these weird conventions. Your prices have to either be 99 cents, 00, 90, or 95. Apple has weird, like even selling ebooks. All my books are available as ebooks as well. And when I go in for the distribution platforms, I enter in the price. It autofills the prices in all the different territories, taking into account conversion, currency changes and things like that. But you have to make sure that the iBook prices all end in 99 cents and they can't exceed the U.S. retail price of the book. It's weird. So I can't set the retail price of the book at like $198 or something. It's got to be like because Apple's got to be $199. It's kind of weird. But, they're just increasing, having more options in between. That's actually not, okay, I'm fine with that. But $10,000 app, what app is $10,000? Is this your annual subscription to, it's the app enables annual subscriptions to your acceleration in your Mercedes. That's what it does. Okay, I mean, it's about what it is. $100 a month, $1,200. I mean, buy the app. Save you $200 a year. All right, here's a good one. And I love this policy. This is one of the weird things that Meta does right. They did it right with the abortion, overturning Roe versus Wade. Meta won't let staff discuss topics like abortion, gun control, and vaccines at work. They're like, if the employees are like, oh, we got to talk about all this kind of stuff. And some people are actually upset about this. This is exactly what every company needs to do. Okay, because believe it or not, if you work in a company with more than like 3 people, believe it or not, some of the people in that company are going to believe that you can abort your baby at any time, and other people will say no abortion at all. Some of the people might actually think that I should be able to carry me pow-pows wherever I go, and the other guy should say we should have no pow-pows in the world. Okay, and if your task is to get work done, it is fruitless to sit here and cause a lot of arguments and strife with people over these issues when your job is to run a company. And so I completely support this type of policy. And it basically says that there are a lot of different factors. And I'm actually oddly encouraged by this. As Mark mentioned recently, we need to make a number of cultural shifts to help us deliver against our priorities. In a company memo, they say, we're doing this to ensure internal discussions remain respectful, productive, and allow us to focus. This comes with trade-offs that will no longer allow for every type of expression at work, but we think is the right thing to do in the long-term health of our internal community. So I'm wondering what type of expression at work they're talking about. I would love it if I could go into a workplace and not have to see what is your pronouns, because that's really, it's distracting and in a way offensive. It is. Okay. If you're so butthurt, if somebody calls you a ma'am because you actually have a vagina, maybe you should go get mental help instead of go trying to work at a company, making it a priority to make sure everybody knows what your pronouns are. Just saying. Okay, that's my opinion. You can disagree with that opinion, but if we're talking about expressions at work, what type of expressions are we talking about? If we're talking about expressions at work and going in and pushing all of our agendas, whether they be deeply right agendas or deeply left agendas, it shouldn't matter. When we go into a workplace, we should be able to go into the workplace and peacefully get our work done without any of that. And then, hey, if you want to make known to your coworkers what your views are, you can do it somewhere else. But the reality is, this is an amazing policy that every company needs to do, because there are going to be people who disagree with you. And the biggest fundamental problem we have in our society is we have a whole group of people who call it hate when people simply disagree with their viewpoint. That's insane. This is Meta doing things right. What is happening in this world? What is happening to me? I just said Meta did something right. I must fade into obscurity. Failed have I. Into exile must I go. All right. Microsoft is trying one more push to get people to switch to Windows 11. Is this going to be enough for you to switch to Windows 11? So what they're doing here is they're calling this the out-of-box experience push. This is something that they did to get the Windows 10 experience rolled out. And so the idea is that when you buy a new computer or some other major factor occurs, then what they're going to do is, if you have an internet connection, they're going to grab and pre-prep all of the files in advance and be like, hey, before you've even tried anything, would you like to just try Windows 11 instead? In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they kind of tried to do that on my friend's computer over a year ago when I built it with Windows 10. He needed it for games, I know. Actually, he's since gotten rid of Windows. He's purely on Linux now. That's good. All right, the update rolled out to home and professional versions 2004, 20H2, 21H1, 21H2, 22H2. Windows 10 will be installed during the Windows out-of-box experience process, so long as it has an an active internet connection. Windows 11 installs appear to have leveled off because no one wants that crap. All right. But what they're doing is they're trying to roll out this out-of-box experience so that they can roll out Windows 11 to more people. So you haven't had the good experience of Windows 10 to realize how crappy Windows 11 happens to be. I just have one question. Answer me in the comments. Is this enough to get you to switch to Windows 11? Let me know below. Well, today's affiliate, we're highlighting Linode, tlm.li/Linode. You can do all sorts of fun things. We talked about email servers the other day. You could do that on a Linode server. You can do basic websites, Nextcloud. You can do a Jitsi server. You can do a restreaming server. I'm doing all of those on my Linode. tlm.li/Linode is going to get you $100 in credit, good for 60 days. You can try all these things out and see how you like it. Well, guys, let's head on over to SillyVille. I know, everyone's favorite place to go. We start out at not to be marvel at the insane winds in this Antarctic station than we, because they have faster internet than you do. That is right. At the South Pole, where it is breezy, negative 30 degrees, a high of minus 27, a low of minus 34, and they have really fast internet down there. So, you know, when you can barely get off the ground, get almost no internet, here they are with super fast internet. Let's see what the internet status. Despite 30-knot winds at Allen Hills, Antarctica, where ice cores up to 2.7 million years old have been found, SpaceX Starlink continues to give NSF-supported Cold-X team unprecedented connectivity. Oh, isn't that so amazing? We can go down to Antarctica and have amazing internet. Okay, upload speed varies 10 to 30 Mbps. Oh my God. Yeah, but down here in America, we get no internet at all. I mean, if you get out in the country, man, if you can get 2 megabyte down, that's amazing. All right, well, there was a dangerous botnet that was taken down by a typo. Proofread your viruses, folks. That's not a mundane detail, Michael. I mean, come on. All right, so proofread your virus infections, folks. So there's this giant virus. It's up there doing its DDoS attacks. They're being spotted in the wild. They're like, we're gonna ramp this guy up. They throw in. Whoops, we killed it, and it killed itself. And of course, since they were all dead, it was kind of like your Windows computer when it kills the internet connection during a botched update and you have zero choice but to wipe the whole system and start again. Because once there's no internet, you ain't getting the updates, buddy. So the botnet killed itself by a simple typo. Whoops. Oh, well, that's good for the rest of the world, I guess. Check your typos, you virus makers. Well, you guys from the 90s, you probably understood the title of this video well before anybody else. Kicks the Llamas NFT. Winamp update recently added NFT support. Lord help us. Winamp is still going. Winamp version 5.9.1 is here. Really? Only 5.9? It's Winamp. It's been around for 30 years. We don't have a higher version than that. 5.9.1 is here. Rejoice, venerable, nay, aged, but reliable media player has been receiving sporadic updates over the last couple decades, but little true functionality has appeared, and that is just fine with users, but the new version brings in an unexpected and thankfully optional feature, NFT playback. No, it doesn't just read the current valuation of various Square avatars. NFT tech has been applied to music as well, offering capability of limited release digital tracks the way you might have limited vinyl run. At least that's the idea. I don't quite think it's caught on, and the cryptocurrency world currently disarray. It's hard to blame anyone for declining to take part in a potentially risky ecosystem. Yeah, I'm going to dump all my money into NFT MP3s of, I don't know. So, Winamp's out there, and it kicks the llamas NFT. I did spell llama wrong, though, didn't I? Sorry, I don't know how to spell. I didn't spell check it. All right. Anyway, yeah, I messed up my title. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me for messing up the title. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do now have a locals page, locals.com. So we are at switchedtolinux.locals.com is where we're at. And we do have some active questions over there for some people. We have links to YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble. Those are the only platforms they allowed me to put a thing for. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can get more links over there as well. But you can head on over there, switchedtolinux.locals.com. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, is this longer or unified with timestamps video better, worse? Do we still want to break it down into 2? Do we want to go crazy and do 4? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.